Welcome to Hop on Calls, a short, tactical, and practical podcast for outbound sales professionals looking to level up their game by learning from actual cold calls that I make every week live on LinkedIn. My name's Kevin Hopp, and I'm all about helping outbound sales professionals hone their craft and build high-quality pipeline. Let's dive right in and see what we can learn in this episode. How we doing, LinkedIn world, Twitter world, YouTube? We're live on YouTube. Welcome to Hop on Calls. I'm your host, Kevin Hopp. With me today, I have one of these guys that has been quietly in the background, killing it on the phones, absolutely killing it. Kyle Shannon, say what's up.
Yeah, man, good to be here.
It is good to have you here. I've been trying to recruit you onto this show for months.
Yeah, but I was just telling my wife over lunch, I'm like, I've been dodging Kevin left and right. He's been hitting me up, telling, come on, let's make these calls. And for those of you that don't know, I actually tried to dodge it one last time while I was eating lunch about 20 minutes ago, telling Kevin I couldn't make it, sorry. But here we are, so let's make the best of it.
I was getting big mad. Kyle texted me and said, like, hey, it's up, I can't go. And I'm like, you're kidding. I know you're kidding. You wouldn't do this to me. We're friends. You would never do this to me. But hey, Kyle, tell everybody if they've never met you, they've never heard of you. What's your background? What do you do today? Why are you on the show?
Yeah. So I guess the quick down and dirty of Kyle Shannon. So I did active duty service over in the Army for about nearly a decade, honorably, of course. And right out of the gate, I got introduced to some folks who were at an early stage SaaS company building things out. And I found myself as an SDR really quickly, and quickly also realized that, hey, I actually kind of enjoy this. Like, as much as it is miserable and challenging, there's a lot of fun to it. And I'm just one of those people where, I like to strike conversations with anybody and everybody. Like, somebody was at Walmart looking at some kind of mouthwash, and I was like, yeah, you should definitely get that. Didn't know these people. But they laughed really hard and they loved it. So I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'm semi decent at that. So just being able to build those relationships really quickly, I think that's one of the bigger things that the Army taught me and kind of transferred over here. So now I've, done the whole startup thing for the past 4 years. And now I'm with Armed Cyber, cracking into the cybersecurity world, which I'll tell everybody right now, the rumors that you hear with the CISOs and the IT leaders, it's very true. They are very hard prospects. And the one big thing that I've learned over here is patience is at a whole new level here.
That's right.
You might be calling HR folks, sales leaders, and beating your head against the wall. But if you dare come over on this side, you might be running through something else in a wall. What's that?
You mean calling cybersecurity people is different?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very much.
Yeah. Dude, it's tough. It's tough when you're selling technical things to technical people. Yep. If you're just a guy like you and me, who we're good at the sales part, we're good at the calling part, we're good at having the conversation, but sometimes you get into these technical sword fights and it's just, man, it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we're going to make some calls here in a minute. Let's give a quick shout out to today's sponsor on the show, Kixi, your all-in-one business telephony solution. Kixi's really good if you have a CRM. It's really good if you don't have a CRM. It's really good if you have a sales engagement platform, or if you don't. It's got incredible out-of-the-box integrations. Today, we're going to be using one of their products, which is called Power Call. So I'm going to make a lot of calls at one time. If this is your first time tuning into the show, you're not going to be able to see me making calls. There's a lot of compliance things we have going on here. But I'm going to be making calls with my AirPod in. Kyle's going to be making some calls out to different partners and MSPs too. And we'll see if we can have some live conversations. If you also realize you're not going to be able to hear both sides of the audio, so tune into the podcast, Hop on Calls, anywhere you listen to podcasts to hear both sides of the audio. With no further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump in the queue. I'm calling, as always, for my client, Silver Sky, which is in the cybersecurity space.
They are.
Same but different for what you're doing and what you're calling. And let's kick it off.
Hey, this is Kevin with Silver Sky. How you doing today?
I'm all right.
Fantastic. Chris, I know I caught you out of the blue here. Did I catch you with a second to have a cold conversation?
I'm actually at lunch at the moment.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Should I reach out a later time? Is there a better time to have a back and forth dialogue with you?
Usually the mornings I'm pretty open.
Okay. Just checking with my information. Are you still involved in IT over at Milestone?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Do you mind if I tell you why I'm calling, and you can tell me just real quick here over lunch whether or not it makes sense for me to call back again?
Sure.
Nice. So I'm with a company called Silver Sky. We work with a lot of different businesses. We have almost 5,000 different customers, but we help a lot of businesses move their cybersecurity posture from a reactive state to a proactive state. I wasn't sure how involved you were in the cybersecurity decision-making process. I thought I'd start the conversation with you and see if maybe it makes sense.
We're pretty set on our cybersecurity at the moment.
Fantastic. Yeah, no, I totally get that. Believe it or not, Chris, when I'm calling people, I'm never introducing the idea of cybersecurity. People always say, oh, cool. Yeah, you're calling for cyber. I got cyber. Thank you. Appreciate the call. I get that a lot. Chris, question for you there. Do you outsource this function, or do you guys have an internal security team?
Outsource.
Okay. You do outsource to a managed partner?
Mm-hmm.
Right on. And how long have you guys been working with that partner in particular? Is this something that you've worked with, someone you work with for a long time?
Yeah, it's been a few years.
Been a few years. Fantastic. One of the things that we hear, one of the common challenges that when I speak to people like you, they say, yeah, we've had this partner for a while. Things are kind of hunky-dory. We're not having breaches. Our hair is not on fire. The world's not collapsing around us. And one of the things I bring up is I say, hey, Chris, when's the last time that you took a really deep dive into the reporting capabilities and examined the real visibility that you have into your cybersecurity program as an outsourced function? And that's always an interesting conversation. What does that look like for you?
That's pretty in-depth. I can see anything I need to look at any time.
Okay, so when it comes to reporting and visibility, that's something that you have that you're very confident in.
Yes.
Okay. Right on. Well, the last thing that might be worth taking our time to talk about another day, and I don't know, you tell me. Silver Sky, we're a 25-year-old business, but we recently relaunched this Lightning platform. We call it the Lightning platform. It's an MXDR platform going beyond physical endpoints using artificial intelligence. It's something that's very different. It's an evolution on the concept of traditional MDR, which I'm sure is a version of or something that your managed partner is doing today. Do you think that might be worth us taking 15, 20 minutes to look at and see what makes us different?
No, I don't believe so.
Right on. Is that because the MDR solution that your vendor is using today, it just does it for you, right? Ain't broke, don't fix it, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Right on. And Chris, last question for you. Is this if I was trying to bark up a tree at Milestone to get a conversation started about cybersecurity, is this the only tree I should bark up, or is there possibly someone else that might have a different view of the managed security program?
This is the only one.
Nice. All right, Chris, I'll let you go. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks.
Why are you laughing at me?
If all else fails, who is somebody else?
I mean, I threw almost the kitchen sink at this guy, like almost the kitchen sink, right? So that's pretty typical where I got a guy, he tried to push me off saying he's at lunch, but when someone says they're at lunch, they got time, right? I didn't hear anything in the background. There was no he's not driving to lunch. He's not sitting there with someone else talking in commotion. And he had a very relaxed tone. The pace and volume of his voice was like, yeah, I'm at lunch. How's it going? What about it? Oh, yeah, I can't talk right now. And I'm like, I think you can, right? So I politely persisted there. And then I asked for permission to get into it. We got into it. And unfortunately, this is something that we see very often here. And that is I said I was calling for cyber. He said, I have cyber. Then I start to dig into some of the common problems with outsourced cyber. He said, I don't have those common problems. When all else fails, I always talk about these two things. If you tune into this show, you know that I do this. If you bought my online course, the two things you should talk about on cold calls are business problems. And if they don't have a business problem, which a lot of businesses, their hair is not on fire, they don't have an actual problem today, then we talk about valuable solutions. This is where we go to our shiny object. Hey, but have you thought of this? Have you considered this? This new way of doing it. I don't like to lead with that because no one cares about your stuff. Everyone cares about what their stuff can do for them. They need to solve a problem. So if we don't have a problem, there is a chance that I could dangle a shiny object in front of them and say, hey, what about this? And that was the lightning MXDR conversation. Did not land. Sean's got a good question here. How big are the companies that I'm calling? I believe in this list, it's the lowest headcount is 200 employees all the way up to about 600 employees. So Silver Sky does a really good job in this mid-market, and the individual list that I did pull here is right around there. So it's very common in these sorts of size of companies that they are outsourcing, insourcing some sort of mix where they're going to have people internally that are working on cybersecurity, but most of the program and most of the technology stack is provided by an outsourced partner. So I'm going to try to have a conversation.
We can't share audio on this.
No, you do not want to share both sides of the audio.
Okay. Yeah, people are probably wondering, is Kyle even making calls? I promise I'm making calls in the background.
Hell yeah. All right. I'm going to move on in my queue here. That was lucky. I believe that I made 2 phone calls and the second one picked up. I got to take good notes, though, before I log this call. Pixie's going to automatically log this to my CRM. No problems. Not interested in seeing MXDR. There's a saying that I always use, and those that have ever done training with me know what goes in the notes of a call is what happened in the call. What happened in the call goes in the notes. Because a lot of reps say, like, what do I put in the notes for this call? And I say, what happened in the call is what goes in the notes. And what happened in the call should go in the notes. And the notes should be what happened in the call. Go back and forth. And then reps go, oh, okay, I'll remember that because it's a silly little thing. But it helps the rep not just, hit next call, because good note taking is key to good follow-up. And good follow-up is key to success.
Oh, hey, Matt. How you doing? Kevin here. What
can I do for you?
Yeah, Matt, I know I'm calling you out of the blue. Did I catch you? Are you busy? Are you heads down doing something right now?
Yeah, I've got a minute or two. What can I do for you?
Awesome. So Matt, the reason I was reaching out to you very specifically, my name's Kevin. I'm with a business called Silver Sky. Not sure if you ever heard of it.
No, so what can I do for you?
Okay, so we specialize in helping businesses develop a very proactive cybersecurity posture. And before you say it, I do understand every business already has something in place when it comes to cybersecurity. But the reason I still make these calls, the reason I'm still reaching out to folks like yourself, we hear consistent challenges when it comes to either the visibility.
I'm going to cut you. I'm going to cut you short for a second and let you know that I'm not with any company. I'm looking for a job currently.
Oh, shoot. Okay, in my records, I had you over at running IT.
You, but I appreciate the phone call.
Are you?
So no longer at Stronghold, right? All right. Good luck, Matt. Man.
Hey, what's up with that data, though?
Well, all right. So this guy got laid off. He's like, I got laid off. I'm looking for a new job. So
Fair.
In that case, I have a disposition in Kixie called Wrong Target, No Referral. And that accurately describes what happened. I called the wrong person and I did not get referred to the right person. Dante here, at 22 years old, I believe I should have the most high-risk behavior of my life. Kyle, what's your take?
Hold on, the thing's ringing.
High risk? If you want high risk, Dante, go work at a startup. Go work at a startup that's early. Get your hands wet. Do a lot of different things at that startup. Always be curious. Always be asking leadership what you can do better, different, what's next. The opposite of that would be go work at a company that has 5,000 employees or 500 sales reps and work on your little sliver. when I was your age, I was working in tech startups. That's what I did. And that's what got me good at doing a lot of different things at once, which is the same skill set I use today to host a podcast, a live show, do consulting, do all my LinkedIn stuff. You got to be multifaceted.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all for high risk. If my career doesn't tell that so, but I think you got to factor in some things too, right? Look at what's going on right now within the world. Like I don't know your personal life as well too. So there's so many other variables out there that you gotta kind of roll up into. Hey, is high risk is the play right now? But if it is, I would say by all means, like go out there and hunt for something that is a lot more early stage. Like when you're employee number 100 or 5,000. I'm always a believer in like, at that point, you're just kind of another number, right? Versus you go to an early stage startup, like every single thing that you do on a daily basis has some kind of impact. And that impact can be like life or death of the business.
Yeah.
Like if you miss quota at a 5,000, place, like they're going to keep going one way or another. Yeah, you might be blasted on LinkedIn with, being hit with a layoff or something, but other than that, their wheels are going to keep rolling without you, right? So take the risk. Like you're still young, that's the good thing. So get all the high risky things out while you are still young, and maybe you don't have a family and all that good stuff. And you never know too. That's the thing. It's honestly like playing the lottery. Like, you can go to these startups and one strikes gold, and maybe you're set for life.
When you play the lottery, you're putting in like $5 in the hopes of winning a big amount. Like you at a startup, ideally, if it's an early stage startup, you actually impact that. So it's not just playing the lottery. Like,
yeah.
Like you should have an impact on it.
And that's all we got for today's episode of Hop on Calls, powered by Kixi. Be sure to tune into the live recordings every Tuesday on LinkedIn. Would love to have your comments, reactions, questions. It's a really good learning environment for anyone that is looking to do outbound sales better. If your organization is actively focusing on this, feel free to reach out to me, Kevin Hopp, on LinkedIn, or go to hopconsultinggroup.com. I'll see you next time. Cheers.